Hi, I'm Billy, one of the Fuji guys. I'm going to show you how to get the Fujifilm X10 started for the very first time. What I want you to do first is to charge the included NP50 batteries with the included charger, inserting the batteries like this, and it should stay in place. You flip it down, you can plug it to the wall. Of course, I have the North American version. Depending on your country, you may have a different prong configuration. The charger is dual voltage, 100 to 240 volts, so I can actually take this charger anywhere around the world and use it to charge my batteries. Just make sure I have the correct prong adapter for that camera. Once charged, we want to insert the batteries to the bottom of the camera, and again, you can see the battery cover. You can slide it open, and it flips right open. To insert the batteries correctly, you would match the orange stripes with the orange tab, and also have the contacts face inwards towards the camera, and that's what I'm doing now. There we go, it clips in place. If I want to eject the batteries, I can just push down on this, and the batteries kind of pop up for me there. I'm going to clip it back in place. It's recommended to pick up a SD card. I just have a standard card here, but if you plan to shoot HD videos or even shoot with RAW, we highly recommend you use a Class 6 rated card for the fastest speeds, or higher, of course. So inserting the memory card is pretty simple. The front of the card, as you can see where the label is, which should be facing the front of the camera and not the back of the card that way. You can also see that there's a little diagram right down here that will show you the actual cutoff angle on the SD card. So I'm going to insert it right now. It goes in, and you push it in, and it stays in place. It pops in place. If I wanted to eject the card, I can push it in again, and now it pops out for me to take the card out easily. So that's, again, I'm going to put that back in. Close the lid, slide that lock position. Now the battery's locked in place. I'm going to take the lens cover off of this camera now, and the reason for that is that to turn on this camera, you actually turn the zoom lens, and once you get it off the off position, it's actually starting to turn on. And once it hits the 28mm point right here, the camera should turn on, and as you can see, it did turn on. If it's the very first time you're starting the camera, you can come up with some instructional settings on the camera in terms of the language settings. You can use the dial here to rotate up and down and scroll up through the various languages. You can also push up and down on the directional pad as well. I'm just going to select English. The second is the power management option. And again, you can select clear display and power save. The next option is the date and time. So if you haven't set the date and time on the camera, and it's your very, very first time, it will ask you to set the date and time as well. If you leave the batteries out of the camera for a long period of time, you will have to set the date and time again if that's the case. Okay, so the camera's now ready. It's on. It's ready to go. It's on basically the information display mode, which shows you the shooting information. Because I have it on EXR mode, a lot of the information is not displayed because EXR does everything automatically for you. As you can see here, it looks like face detection is going to be on. The continuous autofocus is going to be on in order for EXR mode to automatically detect close focus or further focus, as well as with the face detection, it detects if it's a portrait that you're taking or not. If I want to toggle through the different screens, I can push the display button, and by pushing left and right, I can toggle through the different options of information display, a standard display, information completely off, and also the LCD screen completely off. And by having the screen off, I can use the optical viewfinder that's included with this camera. It is linked to the zoom, so as I zoom in, zoom out, you can also see that the zoom does change internally. There is no information displayed. It's just a purely optical viewfinder. And again, it saves you a lot of battery life. But I'm just going to, for this demonstration, have the LCD switched on. As you can see here, I have it on the EXR mode. And so to take a picture, of course, the shutter button's on the top. I'm going to push the button halfway down to pre-focus and all the way down to take the picture. But I can also push it completely down. The camera will automatically focus and take the picture as well. I personally like to ensure that I have the correct focus by pushing at least halfway down first. And once it's pre-focused, push completely down. That shutter sound that you hear, I can turn completely off by going into the menu system if you wanted to. Go into the menu here, then going to the left, going down, and then going to the right. I can go down and go to the operation volume and turn off all the beeps and sounds. I can also go to shutter volume and completely turn that off as well if I wanted to do that. I'm just going to leave it at the default for now. Okay, so I showed you how to take the picture. To zoom on the camera, it's a manual zoom. So by twisting the zoom barrel, as you can see, I zoom from 28 millimeters, 35, 50, 85, 112. The great thing with a manual zoom, of course, is that it's an infinite zoom. I can move to any position at an instant and not have to go by steps with electronics zoom that other cameras offer. So it's a great benefit to have this manual zoom. It's also a metal barrel that has a special grease filling, so it's very, very smooth, as you can see here. So again, to zoom in on the image, I can zoom in, and if I want to take the picture, push the button halfway down, push it completely down to take the picture, or again, like I said, push it completely down to shoot. Zoom out, take the picture, zoom in. As you can see, it's very smooth zooming. And that's the zooming feature on the camera. To play back images, of course, you push the playback button on the back of the camera here. And as I push that button, I'm able to see all the images I shot with the most recent scene here. If I rotate this dial, I can navigate to the various images I shot. I can rotate backward as well. Or I can actually push left or push right if I wanted to and navigate through my images. If I hold it down, I can speed through the images, or hold it the other way, I can speed out. If I use the directional pad or the zoom button here, I can zoom in on the image and use the directional pad to navigate left, right, to check to see if that's the correct focus or not. I'm going to push back to get out of that. If I wanted to zoom in quickly to the focus point, I can use the command dial and push it in completely, and it zooms to where my focus point is. Okay? If I want to change the display, I can push the display button, and now I can choose between no information, setting my favorites, and I can put this as my favorite image and set up 5 stars. And later on, I can search by all my images I've rated as 5 stars or less. Okay, I'm going to get out of that. And then I have my detail information display, and this one is nice because it shows me a histogram of the image. It also shows me any overexposure and a blink. If you do see any blinking, that's where the overexposure happened. And all my shooting information is recorded right here, including date and time. As you can see, it's not the correct date here as January 14th. Now, if I wanted to get back out to my regular information, I can also use this dial here and rotate it to show me other shooting information in terms of highlights, tones, sharpness, the zoom range I'm shooting at. This is 8 millimeter here. Which is obviously not a 35 millimeter equivalent conversion. And then also if I rotate one more time, I can see that little green square. That's my focus point. So earlier when I pushed inwards on the image, it zooms into that focus point. Okay? That's just a quick look at the playback of the image. I can also zoom out of the image and show all my images like this instead. If I zoom out one more, I can have sort of this view. If I zoom out one more, I have basically 9 squares I can rotate with. If I zoom out one more, I can have a lot more squares as well. And I can zoom in and then click that and get to the image really quickly. To delete images, you can either push the drive button on the top to delete the current image and push it again, push OK, and deletes that image. If I wanted to delete all images on the camera, I can go into the menu, select Erase, and either push right or push OK, doesn't matter. Scroll down or navigate down. That's the great thing about this rotate dial. I can push up or rotate if I wanted to. And I can delete all the images. I can also select images to be deleted. If I wanted to select images, I can push it here. And let's say I want that image to push OK. And I want that image here to be deleted. I push OK. Then I push the back button. And now it says I have 2 images total. Push OK. Push up to select. Push OK and deletes that. Again, I'm going to delete all images. Go back to the menu. Select all frames, put OK, and all the images are deleted. To go back to the shooting mode, just tap the shutter button, and I'm ready to go. That's just a quick getting started video on the X10. Don't forget to subscribe to the Fuji Guys and follow me on Twitter as I do more videos on Fujifilm's X10 camera and other future models to come.